The Civil War is a gruesome battle fought between the North and the South. There are many causes of the war, the main one being the idea of slavery. The North side wanted to abolish slavery as the South wanted to keep it.
The war was fought in many different places, but the first battle took place around Washington, D.C., where the Union wanted to capture a railroad called Manassas, but the Confederates were already waiting for them and pushed the Union back. The Civil War started in 1861 and lasted till 1865.
The Civil War was a 4-year bloody battle that killed thousands of men, but in the end, the Union pulled through and began to abolish slavery.
Many people still debate the ultimate causes of the Civil War. Pulitzer Prize-winning author James McPherson writes, "The Civil War started because of uncompromising differences between the free and slave states over the power of the national government to prohibit slavery in the territories that had not yet become states. When Abraham Lincoln won election in 1860 as the first Republican president on a platform pledging to keep slavery out of the territories, 7 slave states in the Deep South seceded and formed a new nation, the Confederate States of America."
The biggest battle of the war was the battles of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It had the largest number of casualties and was described as the war's turning point. It was General George Meade and his army of the Potomac fighting for the Union, which was the largest army of the East.
They defeated the attacks of the Confederate General Robert E. Lee and his army of Northern Virginia. This ended Lee's attempt to invade the North. So this battle basically stopped the Confederates from progressing their invasion. Almost 50,000 soldiers, both Union and Confederate, died combined in that battle. There were 5,000 minor battles in the Civil War and 50 major ones.
After the war, slavery was abolished, voting rights were instituted for all male American citizens, no matter race, the Homestead Act was implemented, and encouraged Western immigration by providing settlers 160 acres of public land.
The Emancipation Proclamation was a presidential proclamation issued by Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863. It proclaimed the freedom of slaves in 10 states. The proclamation applied to 3 million of the 4 million slaves at the time. About 50,000 slaves were immediately freed, but it could not be enforced in regions where rebellion remained. So, as the Union took control of these regions, slaves were emancipated. Before the proclamation, slaves were treated like objects, and slaves that escaped were returned to their owners.
The 14th Amendment abolished slavery across America. It was the first of the 3 constructive amendments issued. The 14th Amendment gave rights to every African American equal to the white man. The 18th Amendment allowed African Americans to vote. Work faster! Faster!
Sorry, I am!
Go faster!
I can't!
Go faster!
Let's go.
There are many forms of icons left from the Civil War era, such as statues or flags. One statue in Manassas, Virginia stands tall above the rest, showing Stonewall Jackson, a Confederate general, and the best-known Confederate commander after Robert E. Lee. Stonewall was accidentally shot by a Confederate guard, one of his own. There are also many statues of, or memorials of Robert E. Lee scattered around northern and southern parts of the states.
Harper Lee depicts Alabama as having the same prejudice against African Americans as they did before and after the Civil War. Atticus compares the trial of Tom Robinson to the Civil War and challenges Scout to be tolerant towards the community members despite their conflicting beliefs. Scout needs to view the neighbors as friends and treat them respectfully despite their racist beliefs and ideas.
The state of Alabama declared that it has been seceded from the United States of America on January 11th, 1861. It then quickly joined the Confederate States during the American Civil War. A slave state, Alabama provided a significant source of troops and leaders, military materials, supplies, food, horses, and mules. However, very little of the state's cotton crop could be sold, as the main part of the Mobile was closed off by the U.S. Navy.
Some fun facts about the Civil War. The Civil War was one of the bloodiest wars ever fought, with an estimated 500,000 American deaths. The Battle of Gettysburg the town had about 2,000 people in its population, and after the war, the corpses in the town outnumbered the population 4-1. It's interesting how much America has changed in the past 100 years, because at the beginning, in the late 1800s, America was willing to kill 500,000 of their own brothers to keep their slaves or to free them. And now, if you go out into the streets and call a black man a Negro, or worse, you'll be receiving a lot of hate, and you might just get beat up, or worse.